Thank you, Kathy. All right, Bill.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bill Souders, and I represent the San Jose Downtown Residents Association. I actually represent homeowners, and my colleagues tonight, Whitney represents renters, and Paul is sitting in for our representative who represents someone who is formerly homeless. So I happen to live about a quarter of a mile from the Diridon station, so this is something that is obviously of great importance to me. And what I'd like to talk about tonight is what I'm calling the Chrysalis project. For what it's worth, I'm trying to be creative here. I got a degree in marketing years ago and never used it, so here you go. Anyway, if you look around downtown right now, those of us that live that close to Diridon are already in the middle of a construction zone. Look around at the cranes. It's all fantastic. It's all good things that are happening. Like you, we certainly appreciate development for what it's worth. But I think the important thing for us to consider is what do the next 7 years, or in fact 9 or 10 years after we heard about the light rail, really look like for those of us that live at ground zero in a good way. 30 years ago, the San Jose Downtown Association was formed primarily to provide economic relief for businesses that were impacted by the implementation of light rail, and I'll emphasize financial support for businesses. This was, no offense to the Downtown Association, but 30 years later, as a resident, First Street, Second Street, Santa Clara, those things where the Downtown Association was really supposed to have an impact are quite frankly not very attractive. There are empty storefronts, and what I would like to say is let's get a jump on this, because 30 years later we can see how long it takes to really activate things. So moving to what I would suggest as an idea would be mitigation with some sort of early activation. We talked about this a little bit with Google a week or so ago. And it's not just mitigation and hunkering down through the construction, but it also gives us an opportunity to really work on some clever design. One of the things that you see happen often, and I saw it happen at San Jose State, again, no offense to San Jose State, when they closed San Carlos Street, they planted all this wonderful grass. And then they put pathways in, they put in cement pathways, and after the first semester, you realize people don't walk that way, they walk this way. So let's use this early activation as a way to figure out what might really work around this construction site. The other thing is it would soften the construction zone. Instead of walking under scaffolding, maybe we can make the construction itself be something of interest. So we could do things like have educational tours of things that are happening with construction, kiosks for input, virtual reality about what this is going to look like, things like that. So anyway, even mini design competitions for things that have not yet been decided. I think if we do this, we can engage businesses, residents, and even future employees. Let's bus Google employees down from Mountain View and let them check out restaurants and things like that so they can add their voice to the planning. Part of this would also be the ability, to anticipate and prepare for attracting businesses and other service providers. I'd like to think that this would be kind of a rational experimentation, not only for the Guadalupe River Park revitalization, which I know Spur and Leslie are working on, but also I would hope that if you look at Santa Clara Street, the Alameda, and even all the way up to Alum Rock, that could be our Grand Boulevard if we do this correctly. So I'll let the SAP Center and our beloved San Jose Sharks speak for themselves, but as neighbors, what I think we should do is really think about brainstorming this early activation and mitigation as part of the Neighborhood Quality of Life Solution Group. Let's engage with the appropriate people, Google, San Jose Planning Department and others. And I know I missed the meeting on the 19th, which was the urban design guidelines. So plugging into that in some way. And then participate with folks that are already working on this. Again, Spur, Public Life with Gail and Knight Foundation. Thank God for the Knight Foundation. Urban village planning activities and so forth. So with that, I'm excited to get on with construction, but let's make it pleasant for everyone.
Great. Thank you. All right, let's give all folks here a hand for going first here.